Hello, everybody. A couple days ago, I posted a build overview asking for advice, on my Mjölner build problem. On that Reddit thread, somebody recommended to me to go on PoE Ninja and look through people that were playing Mjolnir as an oracle to get kind of a basis off of what they were doing. Following that advice, I have a new build overview. Before I get into it, yes, I'm still level 91. I've been struggling regardless, but I made some last minute changes today, and I'm going to hope that it looks up for me in the future. So here's what we got going on. Go over to my stats: 289 strength, 201 intelligence. I am not using the vertex. So those are the stats that I need. The minimum strength I need is 249 for the shield on the back. Obviously, more strength the better. I had more strength before I made some choices today to fix my resistances. My resistances, these three were capped, but my chaos resistance was 13%. And I figured that was the biggest thing killing me, so I have fixed that. So, unfortunately, not perfect fire resistance. I can't do better at current. So, going into the gear, I have rune mastered a new Mjolnir. It's still level 19 on Thunder God's Wrath. I would ideally, like I said in the previous videos, want this to be level 20. Um, I bought two of these for cheap-ish, and in the twice corrupted attempts on two of them, I got this one to stick with the 18% increased physical damage. The other one poofed into magical nothing Dustland. So sad day. I also learned about 5 minutes prior to recording that there is a flux that upgrades the skill on a weapon to level 20. That made me upset. Anyway, so going over the other pieces of gear, I'm using the Crown of Eyes, um, all attributes. I had the plus 22, or no, I'm sorry, the maximum rage corrupt, and I YOLO'd the twice corrupt. I know the rage isn't the corrupt. So the spirit corrupt, I YOLO'd the corrupt, got some accuracy rating on it. At least it didn't disappear. Obviously, I was looking for a second socket, but I only really needed the one. The gloves, I bought these for kind of cheap, I think. I don't know. They weren't terribly expensive. Um, between in the last 4 days, I had made an okay amount of divine orbs. Nothing crazy. I'm not, a 200% delirium map juicer that gets 50 divine orbs a run. Far from it. This has changed slightly. Instead of the previous chess piece I was using that had the stun threshold from the previous iteration of the build, I now have this one. This one I think I crafted. Uh, just got lucky. Nothing too crazy about that. Still using Choir of the Storm, and I'll go over why in a moment. Somebody I was talking to helping me make these last minute decisions, told me that I could just ignore enemy lightning resistance with some jewels, um, saying that enemies like usually have at most 30% lightning resistance. I wasn't aware. If that's true, I was not aware of that. I'm used to like I feel like in PoE 1 enemies had higher resistances. I could be misremembering that. I am aware of, like elemental reflect has killed me many times in, Path of Exile 1, which I don't think applies to that anyway. So I don't know. It was different then. So I have it allocating crystallized immunities. This is giving me immunity to ignite. Uh, I think I would prefer it would give me immunity to chill, but that is just not feasible for me to do reasonably. And ignite hurts, so I'm glad it's that. This is the same ring I believe I was using before. Dual leech, fire resistance, flat fizz, standard ring. I bought this ring for one divine, on the market. 29% chaos res on a single ring is pretty solid. If I had it my way, that accuracy rating would be like rarity or just like another increased spell damage or increased lightning damage or chaos damage, even like one of those three would have sufficed. I'm not going to complain. This was only one chaos or one divine orb. This belt, I found. I don't remember how expensive this was. It wasn't originally double chaos resistance. It was actually fire resistance, and I believe it had like cold resistance on it. I used some fluxes to experiment with my resistances with changing the gear around, and got it to the chaos resistance, which I honestly desperately needed. Um, Now I'm offhanding. This was the Mjolnir that I previously had in my main hand from the last build. Um, I twice corrupted it because again I just don't value anything really, so I just slam the vals and everything I can all the time. I hit the grants one rage on hit. This was before I could fit in eternal rage, so that's kind of a waste, but I'm not going to complain because I still have the item and I can still use it. So, um, I've slotted in this antidote charm because one, I'm too poor to own a rite of passage. Don't have one. And two, chaos damage hurts. My last version of the build was chaos inoculated. This could probably be something else, maybe the immunity to stun charm or something. I don't know. I think my third charm slot is pretty malleable. I've got life flasks, whatever. These are the same boots from my previous video as well. Really good boots. Sad that they're only 20% movement speed, but I mean everything on here is a corrupted modifier, or not a corrupted, but a desecrated modifier. This was a pretty good find. The jewel in my gloves, increased critical chance for attacks. I don't remember why I slotted this in because I had one previously that was giving chance to shock and whatever, so I might re-slot that in. Um, this is just like an experiment jewel. Looking at the passive tree, a lot has changed. A lot has changed. A buddy of mine that I added to my guild recently that I made for me and my real life friends uh, gave me this. I was consulting him a lot about my build troubles. I told him about the Reddit thread and stuff that I made, and he got this thing, and just I will forever appreciate this person. This is super expensive, and I never thought I would own something this expensive on a build ever. Um, God, how much is this right now? Phooey, shooey, goddamn. That's crazy. The amount of divine orbs that people are printing this league blows my mind that he felt comfortable enough to just give me this. That I love that guy. I don't know that person in real life, but I love them. Otherwise, everything that's happened here is this is a Oracle only line here. 2% increased spell damage per 10 strength, boatload of strength and spell damage. Like that, just that speaks for itself for why I have it. Maximum rage, because I'm using Eternal Rage. I have 55 rage. I have the spell damage for every rage point, and with the helmet, uh, increases and reductions to spell damage also apply to attacks. So I'm like double dipping a lot of the stuff that you'll see. This is the same timeless jewel that I had in the last videos. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have enough points. If I can level up one more time, actually no, it's outside of the radius of this, so I would need 4 more points to get this natural energies. I would absolutely love to have it. I can't afford it. So this What keystone is this? Zealot's Oath. Okay. So Zealot's Oath with the Timeless Jewel turns into Black Scythe Training. This is how the build functions. It gives me, 2,000 energy shield and turns everything in the radius into new stuff. So buff to strength, buff to lightning damage. That's 2 for 2 of everything I want. Increased critical spell damage bonus and increased melee damage. Again, everything I want. The helmet is also giving me increased critical melee damage bonus, I believe. Maybe not, because it's not specifically spell damage. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but it's good. I have it. And I have another one of it down here. Those are the only 3 nodes that I have allocated in my Timeless Jewel. This Timeless Jewel was previously right here, and I was using Black Flame Covenant and this to get 2 different natural energy nodes and a rest control. Ideally, again, I would have those options. If this natural energies was like anywhere inside the circle, I would be over the moon. But unfortunately, I'm not that lucky. This diamond, I believe this diamond was pretty cheap. Um, turn the clock back, spell damage, projectile, reduced projectile speed for spell skills, and spiral into depression, just increased armor, increased energy shield, some movement speed, just solid passives, wasn't too expensive. This is an Oracle only node. It's giving me a bunch of damage. I have Pain Attunement. Yeah, I don't know if I'm actually really benefiting from this in a positive way, because the critical damage bonus when on low life means that my energy shield is basically at 0. So I think honestly this is nerfing me more than it's helping me, but it's letting me get this Mystical Rage and saving 3 points. So like I don't know, that might outweigh it. If I could have this as something else, I would love for it to be something else, but you know. Uh Ancestral Bond, again, this is doing nothing for me, but as you can see, I can allocate stuff without it being connected. Extra damage is physical damage, and hits have a chance to treat elemental resistance values as inverted. I could probably get rid of this, but I'm doing more than just physical and lightning damage with this iteration of the build. I'm doing a significant amount of cold damage, so I'm just keeping that just in case. This is the same Heart of the Well that I used in the previous videos. Lightning damage, crit spell damage, cooldown recovery. Perfect, perfect, perfect. On this side of the tree, I needed the buff to intelligence. Another familiar jewel that I had before came down this way, and between Hollow Palm Technique and Resonance, I have slotted in all of these passive nodes, which is giving this gem, what's this, 3, 6, so 24% increased strength and 12 spirit. Let's see, so 24, 48, was that 72? Plus another 24, so 96? 96 spirit out of here. As you can see there with that value, I'm down to 5 spirit, and I'll go over the skills now. So 1 Thunder God's Wrath. This is the main hand, I believe. Hell, I forget what keybinds are what sometimes. Yeah. So this is the 4 slot Thunder Gods. Ball Lightning, Lightning Warp, Boundless Energy, and Magnified Area. If I had a 5th slot here, I'm not exactly sure what I was going to run in that slot, but that is what I would have had. I would have had an extra slot here. The other Thunder Gods is Double Arc, and then the Dominus Grasp, Sion's Temper, and Boundless Energy 2. I have a bunch of these support skills slotted in the Ray Shield. I rarely block, but this just makes sure that I'm immune to Ignite, having these all slotted in there. I do use Soaring Midnight quite a lot. This is from the shield. Soaring Midnight, if you don't know, you can throw the shield and press it again, to do a big slam attack. It does a boatload of cold damage. It's really good. I have that with Bater's Vengeance. When you freeze a target, for each 2 rage you have, um, you get a bonus to cold damage for 15 seconds. I always have maximum rage, so that is a really solid chunk of damage that gets added on, and it lasts for 15 seconds, so it's really respectable. Uhtred's Constellation gives me extra charges to use it, and does more damage for each different skill with a cooldown I've used in the last 8 seconds. I have, I'm using Forge Hammer now, Infernal Cry, and obviously Soaring Midnight, so that's just some extra damage. This needs to be, I don't remember the name of the support gem. It's another lineage gem, but it's super expensive. Or more expensive than I could afford at the time. I genuinely don't remember which one it was. I don't think it's Rakiata's, and I don't think it's Guru Khan's, but it's something expensive. It deals with freeze, I'm pretty sure, so that's why I've just socketed this. Oh, it's the breach support. That's basically Esh's Radiance. Esh's Radiance is lightning damage, but it does this for cold damage. I couldn't afford it, so I have that in place. Magnified Area, Fist of War 2, you know the deal. Lightning Bolt, so I'm not using Esh's Radiance in this version. I'm using Living Lightning 2, Spell Cascade, Cooldown Recovery, Concentrated Area, and Deliberation. The Deliberation helps because the multiplier on the damage, my shock chance is... My shock chance with this is low, but as long as I'm attacking, it never stops going off with the cooldown recovery and everything else I've got it built. And the maintaining the living lightnings helps a lot. This is my primary spam ability, Earth Shatter. It does pretty good damage. I know the tooltip does not really indicate that it does a lot of damage, but it does well enough for everything that I need it to do. It is supported with Rigwald's Ferocity. This was previously in my Shield Slam or my Shield Wall setup, but I have it in Weapon Set 1 for the attack speed. Branching Fissures, Elemental Armament, Rapid Attacks, and Execute. I'm going to skip Execute on all the skills because it's in freaking most of them. Okay, so if I don't mention the 5th slot, assume it's Execute. The next skill, Infernal Cry, Enraged Warcry, Tireless, Efficiency 2, Second Wind 2, and Magnified Area. That's there to pop the Forge Hammer. Stand in here with the slam abilities, get all this extra damage out. So, pretty solid setup there. Herald of Ice, just giving me a lot of extra damage. Enemies I shatter explode. Now, I was using the Unique Ring Pulsar Kiln. I'm not sure if I should continue to use Herald of Ice since I'm not using that anymore. That's something I need to test. I'll make another video with a map after this to kind of go over how the build plays now. Arctic Armors is a nice defensive option. It does respectable damage. It chills enemies. It freezes enemies that touch me. The damage is nothing to scoff at, and really kind of helps me out. It's got Hail Device and Arctic Armor both supported with Living Lightning 2. Arctic Armor's got Super Critical, Zenith 2, Execute 3, and Knockback. The Knockback, I haven't noticed a whole lot, but generally speaking, if they get that close to me, they will die relatively quickly. So, again, I'm not 100% worried about it. Forge Hammer, as you saw, I use that with Infernal Cry to get a big area of constant damage. Ambrosia 2 sucks my mana flask charges to add a boatload of lightning damage. I didn't do the math on that, but 35% of 75 charges That's going to be like 15 charges minimum. So at the very least, the Ambrosius is going to give me at least 15% lightning damage. So pretty respectable. Blazing critical, same thing that I was doing with the leap slam. Extra fire damage. Not going to complain about having extra damage. Fist of War 3, ancestrally boosted, but the boost has a double effect on the hammer. And Kaum's Madness, extra fissures, but the skill does less damage and goes out slower and is smaller, but 3 extra fissures, so it's technically a damage upgrade. Blasphemy, start of my spirit skills here, so I had Hellhurl Device and Arctic Armor, and I have enough spirit to slot in Blasphemy, Berserk, and Eternal Rage. So, Musing Repulsion, the lightning remnants are triggering this all the time. It's amazing. A lot of bad things happening on the screen, though. My screen quality has gone down with this new build. Ritualistic Curse, a big area of effect. The skills erupting, 30% more delay, kind of means nothing. Magnified area, elemental armament, execute, whatever. Berserk, I have with Vitality 2. With the life regen that I have on my gear, plus Vitality 2, I am generally speaking not taking damage while having full rage. I don't know why, but there are instances where sometimes I will take or like slowly drain my life with nothing going on. Um, and I still like I don't know the variable that is making me drain sometimes and making me drain not sometimes. It could be being in combat. I don't know. Genuinely don't know. But right now, totally fine. And Eternal Rage. I have nothing supported in this because I don't need anything supported in it. I just need it for the rage. Now, for the pinnacle of this build, I need Adziri's Communion on Eternal Rage, based on the research that I did, which is da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. 650. The price has doubled. The price has doubled in the 3 days, the 2 days, 3 days, or whatever that I've done this build. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I should learn how to do frickin' temple, I guess, because I'm never gonna get this otherwise. Um, I need this to put Eternal Rage reserving life, so I could slot in Trinity. Trinity is the last piece of this puzzle that's missing. So the gameplay loop as I do it is, when I get a big group of mobs together, throw the hammer, go in, have all my extra damage, pop the hammer, and just start blasting anything that I see. The leech on my ring keeps my mana topped up. My mana regeneration is not that bad, but I do still have my instant recovery flask just in case. So, I will see you guys in the next video as I showcase a tier 14 and probably in the same video a tier 15. I haven't really tried those yet since switching and the changes I made to my resistances and everything. So we'll see how that all handles together. Thanks for stopping by. Happy hunting.